Hi, everyone. Anthropic recently came out with a white paper that talks about building effective agents. And they talk about how when you're looking at agentic systems that are being built based on their example on what they're seeing in production, they talk about two types of agentic systems. There are workflow-based systems, which are systems with predefined code paths for execution. So think of it as somebody defines you go from step one to step two to step three, and that's a predefined workflow. And then they talk about agents, where the LLM itself dynamically, directs the process. And so in that case, you're not predefining the steps, but you just give a goal to the agent, and it'll automatically figure out what steps it needs to take. While they don't talk about hybrid systems, the reality that I've seen is that there are systems that tend to kind of span some combination of workflows and agents. Uh, so the next thing they talk about is that when it comes to building these agentic systems, there are five patterns they talk about: prompt chaining, routing, parallelization, orchestrator workers, and evaluator optimizer. I won't go into detail about each one of them, but my goal is to build uh, an agent to show each one of these in action. So the first one I'm going to do is prompt chaining. And so if you think about the prompt chaining process, basically think of it as a series of serial steps where you have a task and then you make a call to an LLM and then there is some output. The output then gets passed to the next one, that then gets passed to the next one. And so you go through a series of prompts, and that's prompt chaining. So think of it as a process that is executed in serial. It's like a recipe where you go from step one to step two to step three to step four. And the example that I took was you give me the name of a company, the name of a person, and the company they work for. And then that is then passed on to a step in the process that then goes and searches the web for their LinkedIn URL. Then it extracts, passes that search result to another step, which then extracts the LinkedIn URL, which is then passed to another step, which then loads the LinkedIn profile. And then that is then passed to another step, which generates a superhero bio. And so that's what the uh, agent actually looks like. And so what I wanted to see was, how does one use no-code tools like Agent AI to actually go build and showcase, what prompt chaining would look like if you, as a business person, did not want to sit and develop these things, but actually wanted to use a no-code tool to go do it. And so this is how uh, this looks like in Agent AI. Agent AI, you have a series of actions. And so the first step, as I told you, was I have an action to get user input. And so I basically say, enter the name of the executive in the company you work for, and it gets stored in this executive name. Then the next step in the process, I go and I use the Google search engine to say, go search for this particular executive, return 5 results. Um, then from those results, I'm basically saying, I'm passing you the output of a Google search, extract the LinkedIn profile for that particular person. And so now I get the LinkedIn profile. Then I take the LinkedIn profile and then I pass it to another agent, step in the agent, which basically takes the LinkedIn profile and goes, connects to LinkedIn and gets their LinkedIn details. Then that LinkedIn detail is then passed to an LLM call to actually go and generate a summary. And the funny thing I wanted to do was to take anybody's LinkedIn profile and I'll generate a superhero bio for you. So that's the example that I'm playing around with for this. And then that is then displayed as an output. If you wanted to see this in action, if I enter my name, it comes out to this output. Again, bit cringy, but you get the idea. Given me a cool superhero name, talks about my path, and all this based on my LinkedIn profile. But the point here was to show you how you could use a tool like Agent AI to go implement the prompt chaining process pattern that Anthropic talks about.